disbelief that Ohio State sat there at 5. Because here's what 5 is.
Have been.
It's God's waiting room. 5 is like the state of Florida. You're just waiting for someone to die. And what the committee has done has put Ohio State in a position where if either USC or TCU lose, OSU's soft ass gets to back into the playoff. And I got to tell you something. I'm not a Michigan fan. I think we know this. And that, I'd be pissed if I am a Michigan fan. I'm angry and I'm not. What Michigan did to them was expose them thoroughly, completely, and with authority. OSU is Charmin soft. They are broken. As a football team, they are broken mentally, and their coach won't stop dyeing his beard. And I have a real issue with this.
That has nothing to do with
it. Has everything to do with it. Check the stats. The minute he grew the Bonneville beard, he stopped beating Michigan. Facts.
Okay.
The point I'm making, and this is where I need Michigan fans to rise up here, because Rico wants to ask you a question about a rematch. I just feel like OSU getting in this playoff devalues what you did to them.
I see your point, but here's what I'll say. I think the College Football Playoff Committee listened for weeks when Michigan was making the statement, well, if we win, we should still get a spot in the playoff. And I think they planted the seed. They won the game. And I kept saying, don't worry about backdooring your way in. You win the game, you're in. They won. They won decisively. But they planted that seed weeks ago, Mike. Every ESPN and Talking Head show was talking about, well, could you get 2 Big Ten teams in? And the fact that Notre Dame, looks pretty good. Now, they lost to USC. Yeah, Ohio State is going to sit there, and they are waiting for somebody to lose so they can get that last spot. As a matter of fact, they have a better odds of getting in than USC, who is currently sitting at 4. I think Ohio State is like an 80% chance. USC is at 20% of getting in. So, yeah, I think that seed was planted weeks ago. Let's try our best to get 2 Big Ten teams in here, regardless of what you saw. Put the recency bias aside. Yeah, they want the Buckeyes in that game, man. I don't know who they're going to play. I got a feeling. Well, we'll get to that later.
No, but again, I mean, if you want to see the razor's edge here, the odds are going to suggest USC, who's a 2.5-point favorite over Utah in Vegas, and TCU, who's a 2.5-point favorite over Kansas State. One of them's going to lose.
Yeah.
The idea that Ohio State gets in, having not won their conference, having not made the conference title game, and having lost at home in decisive fashion in the one real game they had, that's an embarrassment.
It is.
That's a total embarrassment.
It is, but I mean, Lesson came in here during the break and was saying that they went from being 50-1 odds the day after they lost to Michigan to now it's been bet down to 7.5-1 odds of winning the national title, which once again tells me they know something. And I think they're going to be in there. And I think people are willing to look past that and just say, well, that's just a really good Michigan team, and maybe we need to see a rematch of that game.
I want to know what Michigan fans' take on this is. The idea, and again, the only comp I would have for you is the years MSU had to play Wisconsin twice, chips on the table. It's hard. It's hard to beat somebody twice. I
look at Georgia, Alabama last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm a Michigan fan, I feel like it is disrespectful that we did what we did in their house and they still get benefited out to back in. I think it's a joke. But maybe some of you, maybe Rico's got a better read on this than I do. Maybe some of you want a potential rematch. Or maybe you want them to show their ass on national TV. I don't know.
Michigan-Ohio State semifinal, or imagine a Michigan-Ohio State for all the chips. You wouldn't want that? Because if you win, if you're Michigan, Ryan Day's fired on the spot.
I can tell you as a State fan, if I had just beaten Michigan in Ann Arbor decisively and embarrassed them, the last thing I would accept is them getting in and then me being forced to do it again. I would resent it. I think if I'm a Michigan fan, I resent OSU sitting there at 5.
But knowing that if you beat them again, you've put the final death nail in Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I just choose to be on one side.
No,
of it.
I get it because yeah, right. We witnessed it with Michigan State, Wisconsin.
Plus, here's the other thing: if Michigan went down there and got blown out, you think they would have been shown the same grace? I don't.
I do.
Okay, I guess we just disagree on everything.
No, because Mike, you could see the lobbying for the last few weeks. They were trying their best to get a second Big Ten team in there. And I guess if you're the Big Ten, that's good because that means you have respect. In a year that the conference was god-awful.
That's the funny part. The conference is ass.
Right, which it doesn't make any sense. But I do think if you're a Michigan fan, you would jump on the fact of getting to put the final nail in the coffin of Ohio State and Ryan Day. You get to do it again on the big stage.
539-9797. I'd love to hear from Michigan fans on this. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's ridiculous. And look, you can say, well, who are you going to put in? I'll tell you right now. I'd take TCU and put them in over Ohio State. At least they made their conference title game. They were undefeated going into it. They got 5 ranked wins. Do I think that they're better than OSU? Probably not. If they played in a neutral field, I'd probably take OSU. The bottom line is they've done more. I'll say it. I'd put 2-loss Bama in over OSU. Because I'll be damned, the one thing I can't say about Nick Saban and his team, they're not soft. They went to Rocky Top. They went to Death Valley. They went to Austin. They got 2 losses on the last play of the game by 4 total points. Yeah, you're damn right I'd put them in over that. Those candy asses.
Well, last night showed me exactly what the College Football Playoff Committee was looking at. If Alabama was 5, Ohio State had no shot.
Well, now what needs to happen for Bama to get in is you need USC and TCU to lose.
Yep.
They both lose. OSU and Bama get in.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
But I said the second I saw, because I said Ohio State was going to be 5, and when they all of a sudden put that Buckeye, when you saw Bama at 6, you knew. If you're a Buckeye fan, all you have to do is sit there and go out there and put on a Utah cap or a Kansas State cap and root for one of them. You may know something Friday night because the Pac-12 plays Friday night.
Friday night at 8 o'clock in Las Vegas.
So you may know something by then on Saturday. Guys, book your flights.
I'd love to
We're
do
headed
that
somewhere.
Someday.
What?
Like I've done the Indy thing a bunch, right? We've been lucky enough where State is gone and we've experienced it. It's great. I would love to go to the Pac-12 title game one year. Do a weekend in Vegas, go see a football game on Friday afternoon, have a late dinner.
I know you.
That sounds awesome.
See, I know you made fun of it yesterday because we had the whole whatever bowl, but that was one that I often said, if you had to play in a no-nothing bowl game, go play in the Vegas Bowl.
I agree. When you put bowl games in desirable places, you will get the ability to sell it that you get to have a vacation,
right?
Do something fun. When you put games in Mobile, Alabama, you don't. You just don't. 248-539-9797. David, as our resident Wolverine scumbag, I mean, I'm sick to my stomach defending this, but I would resent that they're at 5. I would feel disrespected. Where are you at with this?
We beat them on the road. We did it already. No way should Ohio State get another shot here.
Agree.
I said it before the game. Win and in. I didn't think that anyone, whether Michigan lost or Ohio State lost, should then get another chance if somebody loses to say, yep, let's slide on in there. I'm a proponent for, and this is a different conversation.
Do you want to go ahead and just clip that for me? I'll need that on the board shortly.
Okay, sure. I'm a proponent for winning your conference title. If you go there and you win, you're in. You shouldn't sit at home and then get an advantage for sitting at home. Mm-hmm. You should not. So, no, Ohio State should not be in there. And then no way am I scared of them. Of course, I would love to ruin Ryan Day and get him fired twice in one season. That would be great. They just don't deserve to be there again.
So if you played Ohio State in the semifinal game and it would be in Glendale, you feeling good about that?
Oh, I would feel good about the result of the game, sure. But they shouldn't be there. They don't deserve it.
I just think it's laughable in a year that the Big Ten is complete toilet that team would get in having lost a winner-take-all at home and convincingly.
Right. You're not going to like the
and Michigan didn't have their best player.
And didn't have your best player on defense either.
Correct.
I'll give you that as well.
And you're done. You're done. You're done. Done.
You do know the other reason why they're pushing for Ohio State, right? You're not going to like this.
What about
Mike.
the TV markets? Can we just stop?
Is that going to be the answer
David,
for everything now?
It's not the TV markets. It's when you come out and you see that Michigan-Ohio State game.
Got a regular Les Moonves over here.
It was the number one watch college football game. That does mean something.
Oh, yeah. You know what it means?
The games are on New Year's Eve, so you already have a problem because most people have plans on New Year's Eve. I don't know why they're playing these games New Year's Eve instead of New Year's Day. Yeah, you got eyeballs. If you got the Buckeyes and you got Michigan both in there. And I know, make fun of me. Go right. Okay.
Won the game by 22 points.
248 539 9797.
Bringing knowledge to the show.
You can bring the knowledge. I choose to not accept it.
Rutgers is good for the Big Ten.
Right, exactly. More TV sets. It's like the Chick-fil-A ads where the cows attempt to spell eat more chicken. That's me. I would have one of those misspelled sign that says, all the markets. I don't care. I parachute in. All the Rutgers, good for Big Ten. I don't care.
But it's money, Mike. The executives do.
Then why do we do any of this?
Because you think that you actually have a say-so, but you realize in times like this, you don't. They've already preordained this to happen. They just need one of these teams to slip up to justify it.
I'll tell you right now, you gotta bet Utah and you gotta bet K-State.
Right.
Because the refs will be in on it. Get your tinfoil. Somebody's going to get the screw job.
If USC and TCU both win, it's going to be a sad day because they're looking at a lot of money missed out on a potential Michigan-Ohio State rematch.
And let's face it, USC has no fans. University of spoiled children. And
it's UCLA. USC actually has fans when they're good.
Who? Will Ferrell and Snoop Dogg? My point is they don't have a fan base, and TCU's a nothing burger. They are. They're a nothing burger.
Right.
So Mike, breaking news here. What's going to happen in August or July of 2023 is they'll announce the college football playoff there based off TV markets, okay? We're going to have Michigan. We're going to have Notre Dame.
David, no. David, no. It's not necessarily
in Alabama.
It's not TV markets, but it's why every preseason college football poll looks the same year in and year out. It's the same.
Oh, you're right about that.
Because they know those fan bases will watch and they'll travel, and they set it up so that artificially they don't have to do as much as a team outside of the top 25 would have to do in order to get to the college football playoffs. But I know. Keep chopping.
Somebody get my lanyard.